Pakistan cricket at its best. 1 minute down, next minute up.
Thanks very much, folks, for joining me once again. A dear friend of PakPassion is with me once again. I mean, any introduction isn't does him justice, really. Ex-player, captain, umpire, coach, Lancashire legend, hugely popular commentator for Sky over the years, unique style of commentary, still doing some commentary work and some journalism out there. You know, as I say, he needs little introduction. The one and only David Bumble Lloyd. Bumble, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm busy. You know, all that stuff. You know, I thought that I was retiring, but I'm busy. I've got loads to do at home, and then cricket season's in full swing. The Test matches and the One Day Internationals will come, so there's plenty going on. And watching league cricket. I'm going to Nets tonight. I'm going to Sheriff Hutton Bridge Nets and just have a look at the lads. They've had a good start.
Well, last time we spoke, Bumble, I think you'd fallen off some ladders. So
Oh, no,
I'm glad,
yeah.
I'm glad to hear that you're back to 100% fitness. Anyway,
I'm not 100%. I mean, you know how fast ballers get that side strain. Well, you know, I cracked a couple of ribs and they're not right, but I'm all right. I can get about. Yeah.
Bumble, putting the politics aside, I think any cricket lover around the world would be happy that the PSL and the IPL are starting again.
Yeah, very much so. And you know, once they were suspended, it just gave the impression that this is serious. And I know that players were leaving very quickly and going home and waiting and going back. And so you just hope things settle down and they can get on with, well, people can certainly get on with their lives, and they can get on with the cricket as well.
I think at the moment we don't know who is actually going to go back to Pakistan and who is opting out. So I'm hoping that, you know, most of the guys from England and around the world who were originally in the PSL will go back. I mean, we've had a couple of extra names just thrown in today. Alex Hales is joining Islamabad and Rassi van der Dussen is joining. But, you know, any of the guys who can't go back, Bumble, for one reason or another, it's understandable, isn't it, as to why they wouldn't want to go back in these circumstances?
Well, I'm not sure it's the circumstances. I think it's the schedule. They, you know, players will have scheduled that. You know, I'm either the IPL or the PSL, and that's my commitment. And once it's extended, it probably interferes with what they were going to do anyway. I don't think there'd be any problem in players going back because they will have assurances that it's secure and you're safe. But it's their own schedules which will be the problem because they may have something else that they need to be doing.
And then the factor of the NOCs from the boards comes into it as well. I mean,
That's it. Yeah,
speaking to the ECB, and they were saying that, yeah, they need to issue NOCs to the
you know,
players.
players who, from an England, from an England viewpoint, the players that they may have an eye on playing Test match cricket and they're delayed and they wanted them back to play a bit of county cricket. Now, whether that's been scuppered or contracts come in, it's, you know, there'll be legalities as well. There'll be logistics. And does a player have to get back or can he stay on and fulfill his contract out there? So, you know, we'll have to wait and see. It's just the best thing is that they're actually going to be playing cricket again.
I think once the dust settles, though, Bumble, the IPL will restart, the PSL will restart. But what we're not going to see is India versus Pakistan. And for, you know, the neutrals and the cricket lovers around the world, Indians and Pakistanis especially, it looks like it's the end of that. I mean, we only used to see it. We're only used to seeing it in the ICC tournaments, and even that's going to go now.
Yeah, I mean, it's fresh in the mind, isn't it? And these things, time will sort it out. That, you know, India and Pakistan have played each other previously, and there's been a real flashback, and so that's not going to happen for the foreseeable future. But you know, everybody for both countries would hope that it settles down, get back to normality for the people of both countries, and you can get back to playing cricket.
And you'll have covered some India-Pakistan matches over the years, but one or two. It's a different vibe, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's great rivalry, and the pleasing thing is that the players get on fine. The players will do competition and they will play each other. But you see them chatting away and talking to each other. There doesn't seem to be, I'm on the outside looking in, there doesn't seem to be any animosity. And of course, you then look at the supporters. The supporters would absolutely love to see, because what you're after is bragging rights. We've beat you at this or we've beat you at that. And it would be a wonderful spectacle wherever it's played. But it comes down to government level, and governments will tell you that you can't do it, and it's as simple as that.
But ultimately, the world of cricket needs India versus Pakistan, doesn't it? Putting the politics aside.
It does. I mean, it's just an iconic game. We talk about England versus Australia as the Ashes, and it's very, very similar. India versus Pakistan. Haven't we in the past said that in the UK that, well, why don't you come and play here? I mean, these grounds will be full. We're not talking about grounds in India and Pakistan that you can get 50, 60, 70,000 in. Our maximum would be 30,000. But I think there's been overtures previously that, you can come and play here. But I think it just needs to let the dust settle for a little while.
I think every time I speak with you, Bumble, Pakistan have either fired a coach or they've hired a coach. Now, the latest incumbent is Mike Hesson. So the former New Zealand head coach, he's coached at the IPL, he's current coach of Islamabad United at the PSL. Hugely popular, very level-headed guy. Interesting pick by the Pakistan Cricket Board to appoint him as the white ball head coach.
Well, I'll tell you this, he is a brilliant bloke. He is a fabulous bloke. Did a fantastic job with New Zealand. And he's a little guy as well. He's quite unobtrusive, but I think he gets his point across. And he encourages players to play in their style. And so, I just hope he's given a good go at it. As you said, they hire, they fire, they hire, they fire. You've got to give people a good go. Once you've made a decision, once your decision is made, this is our person, you've really got to stick with him. And you see if he can, calm it down and make the dressing room an environment that players want to get into, players want to play. They want to play for the badge, they want to play for the country, and they're contented. And, there's a lot of respect on both sides. And, I don't think this is going to happen, but keep politics out of it. Keep politicians away from it.
Well, I want to ask you a question here, Bumble, because Mike Hesson has been appointed until the 2027 ODI World Cup. So he's basically been given a 2 and a bit year contract. How long do you think he'll last?
Well, I hope he lasts the 2.5 years, and that's not a long time. I did 3.5 years, and would have liked to have carried on, because I don't think you've really 5 years is about right. I think you've done your bit over 5 years, and so 2.5 years is halfway there. And I hope they give him a good go at it. He's a very impressive fella.
Well, let's hope he's the right man for the job, because recently we've seen the likes of Mickey Arthur come and go. Akib Javed was in there. You had Azhar Mahmood in there. You had Gary Kirsten, Jason Gillespie. So, we've had a lot of big names come and go. And you mentioned it last time to me, stability is the key.
It is. And you mentioned one there, Azhar Mahmood. I think Azhar Mahmood is really good. And, he would know the dressing room. He would know the culture, which is important. And, if Mike Hesson is in there as head coach, you actually need a good right-hand man. You need somebody who knows the players, the culture, the dynamism of the team and so on. I think that's quite important, that you've got a head coach and he has a very good right-hand man who's got his ear to the ground.
World Test Championship final, Bumble, Australia versus South Africa. Now, I don't know, call me a little bit old-fashioned, but this whole World Test Championship, it's failing to excite me. We've spoken about it in the past. You've got some teams playing X number of games, some playing X number of games. India, Pakistan not playing it all. It's not really a World Test Championship, is it?
No, it's not. You finished up with Australia, South Africa, and I hear that some of the bowlers are injured. And do you know, it depends which country you're in, I suppose. But in the UK, I think it's just passed people by. It's not a priority. And for the reasons that you say, that it's higgledy-piggledy. There's some play so many matches, some play much less. India, Pakistan don't play each other. It's a bit of a mess, really. Nevertheless, you know, these two teams will fight it out. They're two very good teams, but you just wonder who's fit and who isn't fit. And is it actually a priority to these two teams, or are they just fulfilling a fixture?
Good to see Zimbabwe being given a chance to play a test match in England, isn't it, Bumble?
It is. It's a one-off test. I hope we don't call it a series. It is a brilliant place to play in Zimbabwe. I was there and caused a bit of a stir. But for them to come and play one game, it'd be nice if they could play three. But you know, the schedules are there. You can't fit it in. We've got India coming and playing 5 test matches. Kohli's not coming. Rohit Sharma's not coming. And so it's definitely a new era for Indian cricket.
Well, I was just going to mention about Kohli and Sharma. It's quite a challenge and interesting timing for both of them to retire from Test cricket just before an away series against England. Were you a little bit surprised at the timing of it?
No, I wasn't. I've been doing stuff on TalkSport, and we were feeling it's touch and go, 50-50, whether they would make the trip, and it would be they would retire. And so, you know, both guys must feel that the race is run. They've done everything that they can do. And do I really want a 5-match slog away from home? They've done it all before. They've nothing to prove, and it gives a fantastic opportunity for India to start again with who's going to be the next Kohli.
Lancashire, Bumble. It's not going well, is it? Second division of the county championship, which in itself is not great. And then the form that the team have been in, and then Keaton Jennings resigning as the captain, it's all going downhill there. You know, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's saddening for me. I'm quite sad about it. It's disappointing. I've seen them quite a number of times, and I will see them again on Friday. And there's a spark missing. There's something not there. The other thing that I would say is that they play on a fantastic pitch, 4-day cricket. It's a 5-day pitch. It's a test match pitch. And so with the attack that they've got, they don't actually have the tools on that sort of pitch to get results at Old Trafford. And there've been 3 draws. They've actually been on the wrong end of those draws as well. And that might be, you know, the wrong toss or the wrong call. You know, you make a mistake in that regard, but there's definitely something missing. I'm going to keep my ear to the ground on Friday. I'll see what I can glean. But it all started with, we're going to get out of this division. Well, the stark reality is they're not. And you know, they've got to, you know, how do you get out of that? From a player situation, you've really got to roll your sleeves up. No mourning, get into that next game, give it everything you've got. It looks as if Jimmy Anderson will be fit, and I think that will help them. And I want to see some intensity. I want to see some energy into the team. And, you know, a new captain with Marcus Harris. And again, there's a debate there because they had a vice captain in Josh Bohannon. And they've bypassed Josh Bohannon and gone for Marcus Harris as captain and kept Bohannon as vice captain. So, you know, there's a fair amount of intrigue down at the club, I would say, at the minute. And there's a lot of dissatisfaction. And you've just got to suck it up. And the team themselves have got to say, right, chest out, sleeves up, let's get to work.
Good to see Freddie Flintoff being given opportunities in coaching as well, isn't it, Bumble?
Very much so. And, you know, he's come back home. He's done all sorts of things. He's had an horrific accident, and the surgeons have done a fantastic job in piecing him back together. And, you know, I am in touch with Andrew from time to time, and he's loving what he's doing. And I think he'll be an inspiration to younger cricketers. You know, he's with the Lions and lads who've got great ambition to play at the highest level. And I think he'd be a revelation, personally. I think he'll be terrific in that job. And, you know, I hope he's allowed to get the people around him who he wants.
And just on that point about Freddie and him being an
I think that's
inspiration
important. When you become a head coach,
yeah.
don't have to...
Sorry, Bumble, go on.
Yeah, I think it's important when you're head coach that you're able to choose the people you want around you, like the specialist coaches. But I just think he'll be absolutely fine.
And when you say he's an inspiration to others, we saw that television documentary that Freddie did. And what a great story is that the lad from Afghanistan, he's playing for Lancashire Seconds now. I mean, it's a wonderful story, isn't it?
Well, it's a fantastic story, because when you get giving young people an opportunity like that, it makes a great TV program for a start. But if you get one that comes through and you know, and does fabulously well, which the lad is doing, Adnan, you know, he's had a game for the twos, and you know, I asked about him, and I've seen a little bit. They said he wasn't out of place. You know, he was fine, and he'll certainly have ambition. I saw the interview with him. So what an opportunity for all them lads. There were all a lot of them to be brought over and to be with Andrew Flintoff, and then to see what the next stage is. I think, you know, when you've done that, looked a great TV program. Now, what's the next stage? Well, we've seen that with the young fella who's played for the twos.
Brilliant, Bumble. Thank you very much for your time, and enjoy the next tonight, and keep away from them ladders as well.
I know, no more ladders. I've got ladders for sale if anybody wants them.
Well, they've heard the advert when they watch this video, so if anybody wants some ladders, Bumble's your man.
Yeah, I'm the man. I've got 4 sets and I'm not going up any of them. Right,
Thanks,
I'm
Bumble.
off.
Take
See you
care, mate.
later.
See you, bye.